The world was a low, persistent hum. A vibration through marble floors, the silent scream of camera flashes, the endless, scrolling commentary of a life lived in pixels. For Kendall Jenner, it was the only music she'd known for years, a symphony of exposure that had long since faded into static. That's why she was here, at a secluded, glass and timber lodge on the edge of a remote Norwegian fjord. There was no entourage, no security detail conspicuously hovering. Just her, a silent local caretaker who respected her privacy, and the overwhelming, almost deafening quiet. The morning air was sharp and clean, scented with pine and cold stone. Before her, the fjord water lay perfectly still, a mirror to the snow-dusted peaks and the pale, wide sky. It wasn't just clear, it was pure. Fed by ancient glaciers, filtered through miles of mountain rock, it was water in its most essential form. She stood on the weathered wooden dock, her toes curling over the edge. The chill of the air raised goosebumps on her skin, a sensation usually buried under layers of makeup and designer fabric. She wore a simple, dark one-piece, no logos, no statement, just function. With a breath that felt like her first truly deep one in months, she stepped off. The cold was a shock, but not an assault. It was an immersion, an instantaneous and total claiming of her senses. The world's hum, the static of her life, was severed. All that existed was the breathtaking, electric cold and the shocking clarity of the water. She opened her eyes underwater. There was no sting, only a liquid world of impossible vision. Sunlight shafted down, illuminating dancing motes of silt like tiny galaxies. She could see every striation in the rock wall descending into the abyss, every pebble on the sandy bottom 10 feet below. It was like swimming in air, in light itself. Kendall pushed off from the dock, her body moving with a grace that felt new. There were no cameras to angle for, no eyes to perform for. Her strokes were not for show but for feeling, the pull of muscle, the flow of water over her skin. She dove down, running her fingers through the coarse, clean sand, watching bubbles from her breath race each other to the surface like quicksilver. In this silent, liquid cathedral, the layers began to slough away. The persona of Kendall Jenner, the model, the celebrity, the brand, dissolved like salt. The water asked for nothing, judged nothing. It simply was. And in its presence, she could simply be. She floated on her back, the crown of her head cradled by the water, her body suspended between the deep blue below and the vast sky above. The only sound was the drip of water from her fingertips and the distant, lonely cry of an eagle. She felt a profound, almost aching connection to something elemental, something that had existed long before her and would long after. Her problems, the gossip, the critics, the unending scrutiny, it all seemed laughably small, washed clean in this immense, ancient purity. For an hour, she was just a body in water. A creature of sinew and breath, of cold and light. There was no past, no future, only the perfect, present moment. Finally, as her skin began to prune and a deep chill settled into her bones, she swam slowly back to the dock. Pulling herself up, water streamed from her in rivulets, and she wrapped a thick, rough towel around her shoulders. She sat there for a long time, watching the water still itself once more, erasing any evidence of her presence. Her skin glowed, not with a spray tan or highlighter, but with a raw, healthy flush. Her eyes, usually guarded and cool, held a new softness, a reflection of the deep, quiet peace she had found. The world and its noise were waiting. The hum would return, but as she walked back up the path to the lodge, she carried a piece of that pure, silent water within her. A secret, pristine core she could return to, long after the surface of her life again rippled with the chaos of the world. She had not just gone for a swim, she had performed a baptism, and she had emerged, for a little while, entirely new.